Hi guys, and welcome back to a new episode of Let's Talk Elvis. I feel like it's been forever since I said that, so truly welcome back. It's been a bit. Today I have a really exciting episode to share with you guys. This is something completely different from anything I've ever done, and I've actually been really inspired recently by Ashley Drew Adventures. If you don't follow her YouTube channel, I've talked about it before. She shares a whole bunch of really interesting information, but also she gets to go to the places that things happened in and film the location and show us like where things took place, and that is so cool. So I wanted to make a little video for you guys because I visited Nick Adams' gravesite a couple weeks ago, and I wanted to do a little video on him because I feel like he's not really talked about that much, and maybe it's something you guys don't really know too much about. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I hope you guys really like this video. So Nick Adams was an American film and television actor and screenwriter. He was noted for his roles in several Hollywood films during the 1950s and 60s, along with his starring role in the ABC television series The Rebel in 1959. He also played in movies such as Mr. Roberts, alongside Henry Fonda and James Cagney, Rebel Without a Cause starring James Dean and Natalie Wood, and a role I know him well for, Tony, in Pillow Talk starring Doris Day and Rock Hudson. His friendship with Elvis Presley began in 1956 on the set of Presley's film Love Me Tender during the second day of shooting. Nick was also in the running to play Clint in this movie, and he even had a screen test and a wardrobe test for it, but was ultimately deemed too young to play the part. Adams often met Presley backstage or at Graceland, where Elvis often asked Adams to stay overnights. He and Elvis would go motorcycle riding late at night and would stay up until all hours talking about the pain of being a celebrity. Elvis would spend lots of time with him, showing him his old haunts such as his old school and his teachers. They went to the beach in the movies, often with Natalie Wood, and he even accompanied Elvis to his homecoming show in Tupelo. Peter Guralnick wrote that Presley found it good running around with Nick. There was always something happening. Elvis's girlfriend, June Juanico, complained that Elvis was always talking about his friend and James Dean and Natalie Wood, and she was upset because Nick Adams would always kind of talk about Natalie and how pretty she was and how good of a figure she had and everything like that. And it made June really insecure, and she felt like she was gonna lose Elvis to the glitz of Hollywood and all these Hollywood stars. Elaine Dundee, who has written some really good books on Elvis and people who knew Elvis, wrote, "Of all Elvis's new friends, Nick Adams, by background and temperament, the most insecure, was also his closest." Nick even flew to Memphis for Gladys's funeral when she passed away to be with Elvis. The Rebel and the King by Nick Adams is a first-person account written by Adams about his friendship with Elvis. The manuscript was written in 1956 by Nick during Presley's 8 days in Memphis when the singer returned home for his big Tupelo homecoming. The manuscript was discovered 45 years later by Adams' daughter and initially published in 2012. I visited Nick Adams' gravesite the other week, like I said, so let's go take a look at that. Adams supposedly died from a drug overdose and was found dead in his home in Beverly Hills by his friend. Although the death of Nick Adams has been cited in articles and books about Hollywood's unsolved mysteries, along with speculation by a few of Adams' acquaintances that he was murdered. No weapons or pills were found around his body, but several personal items were missing, including his journals, the typewriter James Dean had given him, tape recordings, and a bronze replica of the hat he wore in his hit TV series, The Rebel. Adams' death certificate was changed 3 times from homicide to suicide to undetermined. Nick has said numerous things about Elvis, both in his book and publicly, and I will go ahead and post a tiny little snippet of an interview where Nick is talking about spending time with Elvis and his family and eating some of Gladys's homemade food in a post along with this video. I wanted to share just a couple of things that Nick had said about Elvis in some interviews that I thought were really, really nice and sweet. Nick said, "He was a real down-to-earth guy, very sincere and very humble. Any guy who talked to Elvis for 2 minutes would think he's the greatest guy in the world. Why? Because he's for real. I'm the luckiest guy in the world because Elvis is my friend." I hope you guys enjoyed this short little video on Nick Adams. He has he didn't write the book, but like I said before in this video, it is It was discovered actually, which is very, very cool. And it was a bunch of his little like diary entries, manuscripts from the days that Elvis was actually with him. So unlike a lot of these books where people who knew Elvis, lived with Elvis, spent a lot of time with Elvis, are reflecting back on their time with Elvis and writing a book after it all happened, Nick's book was basically being written while everything was going on. So it's fresh in his mind, and it's first-hand account of what they did together, which is super cool. If you want to get your hands on it, you can get it from Amazon. I think that John probably has it in his shop if you want to reach out to him. His handle is the EP Boulevard Pawn Shop. Also, Nick is mentioned in June Juanico's book, Elvis in the Twilight of Memory, which she talks about him not very favorably. I can tell that he was not one of her favorite people in the world, but if you do want to read June's book and you haven't yet, you can also get that from Amazon. And that is all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I could do my best to answer them. I hope you guys are having a great weekend, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!